Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. Hey, before we get to the main point of the video, as I'm out here driving around, I want to ask you guys a question. You know, I used to make a lot of fun of the Prius, the Toyota Prius, you know, that it's ugly, it's gutless, just a nasty car. But, of course, Toyota recently redesigned the Prius and turned it into something that, honestly, I really like. I love the look of it. I love the power of it. I don't know that the fuel economy matters that much to me. I mean, a little car like that's going to get pretty good gas mileage anyway. But nonetheless, 50-some miles to the gallon when you're out just cruising around or running errands, that's not too bad either. You know, I think that's definitely a benefit. So my question to you guys is, what do you think of the Prius? I'll put a picture of it up right here somewhere. What do you think of it? Any interest in it? Not for this channel. I'm thinking potentially of adding it to one of my other channels, to Mod Driven. It wouldn't be on the Jeep channel, obviously, but Mod Driven is about cars and modding cars and just cars in general. So leave a comment. Let me know. Any interest in that car? I'd be curious, only because it is such a huge about face from what the Prius has always been. Anyway, let's get to the meat of the video. You know, another thing I've been thinking about as I'm out here driving around in the gorgeous electric lime Tacoma, a very divisive color. There's a lot of people that don't like it, and I think those are the people that have only seen it in pictures. And I say that because I was one of them. It's awesome in person. But I'm thinking we have the 2024 coming out. The redesign, of course. And I'm thinking maybe it would be wise to wait. And the reason being is because I'm thinking, you know, the hybrid version with more horsepower and more torque is not going to be out right away. It's not going to be out until at some point next year. Rumors are somewhere mid to late next year. And I'm thinking that what is going to come out is going to be just a turbocharged 4-cylinder. Obviously, it looks different. There have been changes cosmetically to it, changes on the interior with the new infotainment system, you know, the floating iPad, stuff like that. But otherwise, it's just going to be a 4-cylinder turbo. And there's a lot of 4-cylinder turbos out there. I mean, we've got the Ford Ranger, others, lots of Ford Rangers I see around. And I drove a Ford Ranger a few years ago, granted. I drove one and I wasn't really very impressed with it. It didn't have a ton of power. It didn't give me that oomph that I wanted. And if I remember, it really didn't feel like they had eliminated any of the acceleration problems. In other words, it seemed kind of underpowered, kind of laggy. And the last thing I want to do is get a new truck that's laggy. I mean, what really turns me on about the 2024 Toyota Tacoma is its increase in power. It's higher torque, it's higher horsepower. The feeling that it shouldn't have any lag. The new 8-speed transmission. Now, I'm sure the 4-cylinder regular turbo, the non-hybrid, is going to have the 8-speed transmission. But I don't think you get, or are going to get, the real feel of what that truck is until the hybrid is out. Now, speaking of that, because I am seriously considering waiting until the hybrid is available, I think it's the biggest bang as far as the new Toyota Tacoma goes as compared to just the 4-cylinder turbo. But the problem with waiting, well, there's a couple problems with waiting. Obviously, as a YouTuber, you want to have the latest and greatest. But there's two different lines of thought on that, I guess. One is that, well, yeah, it's going to have a good awe factor when it first comes out. But then after that, what do you do with it? I mean, most people won't have them yet because it takes time for them to build up in the market. The other thing is the trim levels. It appears that what they're going to come out with first anyway is going to be a hybrid Pro. The Pro is only going to be the hybrid from what I understand. And the Trail Hunter. The two, I believe, top trims that will be available in the Tacoma line. Now, for me, I don't know that I really want a top trim. I mean, what I like to do is add things to it, mod it, change things. But when you buy a top trim, well, number one, you're paying for that top trim, right? All those bits and pieces that you may want to mod or change out is a waste of money, because you're just going to take them off and replace them with something else, like the wheels and tires, for example. And secondly, it goes right back to the feeling that, or the thought, that most people won't have those trim levels either, just like most people won't have the brand new Tacoma. Because let's face it, if you're not in a business like I am, you know, making YouTube videos about the latest and greatest, you're probably not going to go run out and buy a brand new Tacoma when you just bought a brand new Tacoma like this one, and you don't really need it. So I understand that. Or you're just happy with what you have, or maybe you don't like the new 4-cylinder. Maybe you don't want a hybrid. I mean, there's lots of reasons. Financially, you know, they're not going to be cheap. The Pro and the Trail Hunter are going to be the most expensive in the line. And I hear rumors out there, and they are just rumors, anywhere from $45,000 to $55,000 for a Toyota Tacoma, for a truck in my case that I'm just going to take most of the stuff of it off anyway. Just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I do believe that probably shortly after the two higher trim levels come out, the Trail Hunter and the Pro, that they will be putting that hybrid system in, say, the TRD versions, maybe some other special edition that's not as pricey as those two. So they will be available down the road. I mean, I'm not going to wait 3 years to get one, don't get me wrong. But waiting a few months to be able to get something that's going to be, I think, the most impactful might be the way to go. So, a lot of decisions for me to make. If I follow true to how I know I am, I probably won't be able to wait, because once this new truck is out, and I do like the looks of it, but once this new truck is out, I'm probably not going to be able to resist, especially if they're available in stock somewhere, which I'd be shocked. But if they were, and I can go actually put my hands on one in person and test it out, who knows? Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Is it really worth buying a new Tacoma, the redesigned Tacoma, until everything is available, meaning the new hybrid system with the more powerful engine, better torque, better horsepower, or not? I'd be curious to know. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think.